Welcome back to video 2. This video is going to be all about Meghan Markle's American Riviera Orchard Montecito, because a lot has come out. I've already told you guys about this thing, but it's getting worse. Let's just dive in, shall we? Let's go. Starting off, we know that Meghan's doing this cooking show. Well, it's come out that they're not going to film that in Meghan's house. And the filming supposedly started on Tuesday, the 16th. So right after the polo thing, she had to fly back because filming was started. I've told you before that the house is up for rent. It remains up for rent. It's like a stage. You can do things there. I think they film things there. I think there's a few props like the desk and the couch. But do I think they live there full time? No. I don't think that they do. Now, it's not lack of space why they can't use this house. It's a Spanish Revival style mansion, 9 bedrooms, apparently 19 bathrooms. It has a gym and some other amenities, but it's outdated. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's extremely outdated. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Netflix docuseries that they filmed in a house that was up for sale, and the man had been convicted of bilking veterans. That's right, war veterans out of their money, and that's how the house was paid for. So, of course, that's where Harry and Meghan decided to do the filming for the Netflix docuseries. So instead, Netflix has rented another house in Montecito to do the filming. I am absolutely just... It's like she's afraid people will see inside the house. It's not that people will see inside the house. If you go in the house, people might realize they don't live there. And we know that Harry is just coming back from starting this polo thing. Let me tell you what I think is going on, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Harry and Meghan get a couple of million from Netflix a year for overhead. I think they're using that money to make these projects, and then they're going to throw these projects in front of Netflix, because Netflix has been completely silent on this whole thing. Meghan finally unveils her first new product. It's a jar of jam, but she doesn't want to spend the money on the advertising, so she's sent out some jars and she's having her friends do it for her. So Meghan made some jam and sent it out to people to have them flog it on their Instagrams. Remember when Oprah did that? For the coffee. So this first one was put up by Tracy Robbins. In case you don't remember her, she is the woman who is the president's wife, of Paramount president's wife. There she is standing there next to Meghan. And notice the jars are numbered. Next up, and we knew this was going to happen, Delphine, Nacho's wife. I don't understand why these people would lower themselves to flogging somebody else's goods. Anyway, she puts up this picture. Oh, strawberry jam. It makes me happy. And then she tried to put up an artsy picture. See, to me, if I want jam on toast, I simply open a jar and put the jam on the toast. I mean, who's her target audience with all of this? Then the next one came up. It was Better Up cult member Mindy Kaling. She was number 19, and it looks like she didn't really put any effort into her presentation. In case you haven't noticed, everybody's using lemons, although I don't know why. The next person that flogged this crap is Tracy Ross. And did you guys notice the ripped paper, the tissue paper that's holding up the lemons underneath? And they just keep coming. So the jars are numbered 1 through 50. Now, we know number 1 isn't going to do anything because apparently number 1 was Jill Biden. And as the president's wife, she can't. So number 10 was Tracy Robbins. Number 17 was Delphina. Number 1 is Jill Biden. Number 21 is Tracy Ross. Mindy Kaling is number 19. So now everybody's wondering who else is going to pop out of the woodwork and suddenly put up these ridiculous Instagram posts. I'm waiting to see a post from Oprah, Gayle King, Tyler Perry, maybe even Beyonce, although I'd be shocked if Beyonce lowered herself to that level. So a new bit of information came out since all of this has been coming out. People are picking this crap apart. But before we take it apart, which of course we're going to do, you guys should know that her pushing her jam has increased the sales of Charles's jam on his website. After all, we know that his stuff is completely organic, and we know that any money he makes goes 100% to charity, whereas her stuff goes 100% into her pocket. People suspect that a lot of her ideas were stolen from other people after she was spotted a few months ago at a farmer's market buying jars of honey and jam from local vendors. So she looked at their designs and probably, more than likely, allegedly, copied off of their designs, because she copies everything. She has no original ideas of her own. So as soon as this came out, people started running a poll of who would actually be interested in buying any of this stuff. And only 18% of US adults are interested in the stuff that she's selling. Unbelievable. And it's got nothing to do with Democrat or Republican, as you can see. Over 1,400 adults were in this, thing. Now you should know, we're in this survey. You should know that on Instagram, she still has not hit 600,000 followers. Keep in mind that when they started Sussex Royal, they hit like 3 million in 6 hours. I think that's really telling when you consider how far the reach is of the internet and how many people there are in the world. I think that just shows how many people are really disinterested. I mean, the general public has said they're not going to buy it. So these people did a vote, 13,900 votes, 98%, 13,690 said they're not going to buy it. Only 1%, 163 people said they're going to buy a jar because it's going to be overpriced. We know that. Now, Meghan should know by now that anything you put on the internet is going to be scrutinized and looked at, and, people are just going to be all over it. So the first thing that everybody noticed when they looked at her jar is that the labels are peeling off. She didn't even affix the labels well enough to the jars. Listen, even on X, somebody said, and I'm quoting, "The label is hanging off, tut tut, poor quality." This is what people were waiting for? I mean, if you're going to put out a jar of jam and try to get people to buy it, your label, everything should be perfect. You know what I'm saying? It should be the best quality of everything. And this just isn't, which is why I think people are not going to buy it. I think it's going to sit on the shelves. I think it's going to be like the coffee. It's overpriced and nobody's interested. And of course, people are literally taking the piss out of her. I mean, what happened to her attention to detail? Angela Levin, who has never held back on her criticism, said, "I can't help laughing." She said, 50 influencers, a jar of strawberry jam, hold the front page. It has a limited edition of 50. Not to mention, the labels are peeling off. So I guess the point is, people have been waiting for this launch because we know she launched prematurely because she was trying to take the attention away from the Diana Awards. And when she finally comes out with a product, it's strawberry jam. Now, people were wondering about the numbering, and the Royal Rogue, the body language guys, said that the reason it's labeled with the numbers is for detecting leaks or unauthorized users outside the loosely picked people by Meghan, because we know what a control freak she is. And it sounds like he was spot on, because then a blind item came out that said you got to gift back it if you agreed in advance to promote it on your social media and not to give it or sell it to anyone else, which is why the jars are numbered. It's also supposed to make it look like it's like exclusive, right? And it looks like the Family Guy who did that show about Prince George, the prince, where they made fun of him on HBO, which, by the way, got canceled after 1 year because it was in such poor taste. It looks like, foreshadowed what was going to happen. Here's a clip. Watch this.
So all you'd have to do is Instagram yourselves using my ketchup. It'd be a huge help.
I see. Well, that's something we'll definitely think about.
Who's that?
That's your nephew, Archie.
You're pulling my leg. Why have we not met before?
You've met him like 1,000 times. So are you going to do the Instagram or not?
People are pointing out that there's a lot of issues with this, okay? First issue is that Meghan, in the pictures where she's supposedly cooking, isn't wearing a coat, an apron, gloves, a hairnet. There's no telling what could fall into the jam. I mean, Believe it or not, one of Meghan's hairs was found on the outside of the jar in the covering. And that worries me because if it's on the outside, who's to say that some of it didn't fall in? I mean, that's just disgusting. Somebody else pointed out that there's no label on this jam showing the ingredients, what's in it. What if I have an allergy to this jam? How do I know what you put in it? There's no calorie count. There's no ingredient list. There's a host of issues with this first batch she sent out. A few more things Meghan may not be aware of. If she's doing that out of her kitchen, the local district health officer was supposed to come around and inspect her kitchen. Does anybody believe that the Montecito Santa Barbara person went and looked at her kitchen for cleanliness? Because I don't think so. Does anybody believe she sterilized the lids of the jam? I don't think so. Then we have the trademark issue. As you guys know, she launched the day of the Diana Awards trying to overshadow William as he was walking up to the podium, but her trademark hasn't been approved yet. What if it's not approved? And all of this is for absolutely nothing. Stories are coming out that she's looking for a CEO for that brand of the company. She doesn't have anybody to run it. And of course, we all know that Meghan only puts in an hour of work a week per her own tax documents. So she hasn't even hired somebody to run this portion of the company. So that's another issue that she's having. The truth is she should not have launched until she had products in place, a CEO in place. You know what I'm saying? She did it before she was ready. She's not ready. It was inevitable that people were going to start making memes. I love this one, the pot. I'm not going to do a meme video. I know you guys love them, but I'm not doing it. So, yeah. Somebody should have been more careful about the security of their website because what happened was somebody hijacked her website. And so when you went there, it took you to a Trussell's Trust landing page, which then led you to a Just Giving fundraiser with a private message that says, "Not Meghan, hope Meghan wouldn't mind, thoughts with Catherine." The Just Giving page has a target of £1,000 and so far has received £36 of funding for the trust, which works to stop UK hunger and poverty. Now, of course, Murky Meg, who has a heart of gold, went ahead as soon as she saw what was going on and she made a donation. She donated £50. So while the article says that a total of £36 was collected, I'm sure the amount is much higher by now because people want to give to charity. Not to Meghan Markle. I think we all are on the same page. All right, you guys. Now, I will update this story as it becomes, as more information comes out. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow me on over to video number 3. Let's go.